real estate broker, and aunt of the suspended NFL Atlanta Falcons quarterback.
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black
Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black.
Welcome to this 29th edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. Join the conversation online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Instagram, and at Black Brand Biz on Facebook and Instagram. We are super excited about today's show, which will focus on city governance for economic development. One of the most under-tapped resources for business growth is what each local municipality can provide. And though not every city has a reputation for being small or minority business friendly, every city is looking to grow its tax base through expanding the number of consumers it engages and the number of successful business people paying taxes. Here to share with us today is a very special guest. I referred to her yesterday as one of Hampton Roads' living legends. Born and raised in the southeast community of Newport News, Virginia, Vice Mayor Tina Vick is passionate about implementing policy and programs to enhance the lives of all Newport News residents. And I'm going to take that further to say Hampton Roads residents. Vice Mayor Vick plays a leading role with several local organizations and has published several articles on issues involving community development. Vice Mayor Vick understands the power and rewards of entrepreneurship and is the owner and principal broker of Tina L. Vick Realty and Development, LLC. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ms. Durham. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I really appreciate you being here and all the work you're doing in Hampton Roads. This is going to be fun. I'm excited.
Me too.
So the conversation is about economic development. What does that mean to you from the vantage point of someone serving on city council?
Well, it means an opportunity or a means to be able to gain money or gain capital. As we look at most of our economic development projects throughout the city, developers are not doing it just because it looks good. They're doing it to make money.
Sure.
And so they're looking at, how much a building will cost to lease or purchase, whatever service or goods or services they're going to put there, how much return on their investment are they going to get? So it's about money, and to take it back a little bit, where I feel like as Black people, we're so far behind the curve, because I think about when I wanted to run for office, just what caused me to run.
Please share that story.
Looking at one part of the section of the South District that I represent, vacant lots overgrown with grass and bushes, dilapidated housing in my district that, some type of way we had a codes department, but they weren't enforcing it. 14% unemployment in that district.
Wow. Which
now nationally it's only single digits, 4 or 5%. It keeps, but to think that as Black people, when we think about economic development, look how far we're going to have to come from,
right,
to be able to, some people are already there, but to be able to make a bigger footprint.
Sure.
In the economic development across this country, and especially in Newport News.
Yeah. Wow, you said a mouthful. Just thinking about kind of your decision to run. You've been in office how long now?
11 years.
11 years.
My first office term was 2008. Wow. I didn't come from a political family. I just am a believer that when God has an assignment for you, you will know it. And people in the community kept calling me when the seat was available. And I'm very competitive. So when I looked at my competition, I think I can beat y'all.
Wow.
So I did it, and I love it.
11 years.
Yeah.
So it's your intention to run again?
Yeah, my seat is up in 2020.
Okay.
And so next year. So I do plan to run for another seat. And you get so used to it because I really love people But as projects come for me and serving in the South District, part of my challenge was serving in a part of a city that had the least amount of investment over the years. And that was another thing that made me want to run now. But now to see that when you get in government, and if any people, young people are ever interested, go in government with first the mind to help people, to help your community, but to be able to learn the budget, study the numbers, figure out how you can move money. Because, Blair, we can talk about ideas, and we can talk about wanting a grocery store, we can talk about wanting retail businesses, but until we can figure out how to find the money to make it come from a dream to reality, we're just talking. We're just talking.
So when I think about this next generation of leaders, right, political scientists, folks that really want to be involved in government, is that what your message to them would be, is get involved? There is opportunity there. We can make change that way. Would you say yes?
Yes, and on Facebook and social media, most of the time we're just, particularly for me, I'm just mainly posting the good part, celebrating one of my friends, Lynette Chandler, her 50th birthday, some of the meetings we go to, but the parts behind the scene where you're studying line items over, now we're at a $1 billion budget with the city of Newport News.
Congratulations.
Wow. And so with that, unfortunately, it's still not enough for all the services we have, but that's what I would tell them, to come in being your smartest self and not just settling for just sitting there and waving at people, but really wanting to make a difference. One of the things I tell people, I said, I can't just sit there because I did two things campaigning that I don't like to do. And that's ask people for money and keep talking about myself, because you got to talk about yourself so people can know your qualifications so you can win. But I really hate to ask people for money, so I feel like I have to work, but really I go in saying that when I do turn this seat over to somebody else, I want to be able to visually see some of the things I helped to come alive in Newport News.
That was going to be my next question. Actually, before we go there, though, if you're just tuning in, this is Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. We are talking with Vice Mayor of the City of Newport News, Tina Vick, who is sharing with us just her experience really in city council and what it means to be involved in economic development from that lens. I want to ask, what have been some of the hallmarks of your career in city council? What are some of the things that you brought to the table that you've been able to help make happen for the city?
Well, and a lot of things with us as council people, we may not do everything to make it happen, but it's our voice that's talking about the issue that have our staff come to a solution. So as I mentioned the overgrown lots in Newport News. Now I can say I don't get any calls about overgrown lots because we've developed a system in Newport News that we've contracted that service out. We used to just allow the prisoners to cut those city-owned lots, but now we've developed a system. We've hired a contractor, so they're on top of it better. So those calls are gone. I'm excited about, even when President Obama was in, we utilized some of that funding to build a new fire station in the central part of my South District to help decrease the response times to our citizens during, their most vulnerable times. Yeah, and one of the best things I really love has been our new apprentice school in my district. But I have to say, they call it Tina's Walmart. We got the first Walmart in the South District on Mercury and Jefferson. So I was really excited. Opportunities for people. It brought 200 and so jobs to people who can catch a bus or walk to the area, and of course downtown in our Brooks Crossing. Yes, and people in our Brooks Crossing, we have it was gyms before. We brought a grocery store, a brand new grocery store, to a food desert. Now the Piggly Wiggly, and we're working with the shipyard to have a building, 95,000 square feet in the deep part of downtown, that's going to house shipyard employees, but part of it will be an area for job training for people in the community as it relates to STEM jobs, so that they can get the training and transfer to jobs or likeness in our community. So that's just some of the things, but I'm so excited.
You should be. I mean, this is proof that it really is possible.
Yeah.
A lot of us are looking at it and it's almost like the problem seems too big to really address. But in 11 years' time, I mean, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think you have a lot to be proud of.
Well, and I think it comes from people really wanting to do things, wanting to see things happen, and then realizing that so many things we talk about, you can't wait for somebody to come and do it. You got to think of it. Like with the grocery store, it was some what I call creative financing. And what I love about government is this term right here, Blair. We're going to find the money. Yeah. Isn't that funny? We're going to find the money.
It's there.
Can you imagine being at your house and you just open the drawer and say, honey, there's $2 million in here. Did you know?
Wow.
But look at knowing that budget, knowing, how to move money to make things happen, because that's what we did with the Piggly Wiggly. We used $4 million of our general fund tax base, but we did $2 million in the new market tax credits, like the gentleman Robert was talking about at your wonderful event, which I need to congratulate you on that. Everybody I know, they're still talking about that wealth building event that you had on Saturday, and so many times as council people, we get asked to speak, but we get there and it may be 5 people too. And not to say that's not good, but the marketing you did, because you knew what you were offering was worth something, spoke volumes. It spoke volumes on Saturday.
Our community needs this terribly.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get you the Newport News.
We need the inspiration from people like you.
I'm trying to figure out how to bring you to Newport News.
I never even knew that you've done all this work. This is amazing.
I got to figure out how to bring you to Newport News with that.
Well, I'm almost here. I'm in Hampton now, so I'm close.
I'm trying to find a place for you to do that you did Saturday in Newport News. My daughter, she's so excited.
Would love to do it.
Because people need to hear that. People need to hear that.
Okay, we're going to do it. So creative financing. So much is possible. So you're going to run again, and what else are you going to do?
Well, the things that I really want to do, I really want to keep working hard to have our district with double-digit unemployment. I'm not going to stop. The bigger part of my campaign, and as being a black woman, so many times we want to give like free bread and free food. I want to give people opportunities to be able to get job training, jobs, because you can give that free stuff and it's just very temporary. But when you allow people an opportunity, because we have not had the opportunities, we don't have any job training facilities in the South District. Our job training is on Butler Farm Road in Hampton. So this is going to be huge, what we're bringing downtown. And plus we are the finalists.
Is that the 95,000 square foot building?
Yes.
Okay, got you.
But if we're the finalists for the Choice Neighborhood Grant offered by the HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and if we're praying to get that, and that's $30 million grant money that we will be able to change the community. So that for my next term, I'm counting that we're going to win. That's going to be a lot of work. But right now, my biggest thing for the next 4 years is really offering more opportunities for people who normally wouldn't have opportunities for jobs training to get on their feet. We sat and allowed people in a lot of our public housing projects to just sit with no opportunities. And to me in life, that's not fair. Sometimes we hear people saying some people won't take it, but you can't tell me people won't take the opportunities because you're talking about me. Mm-hmm. Because that's the same area I grew up in. And thank God somebody brought opportunities, a youth advisory board to my community, and I got involved and it took me to different places. So I'm real big on that one.
Give them that back. Yeah.
Exactly. I think we must do that.
We got a couple minutes before break, but if you've just tuned in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, and we are hosting the wonderful Vice Mayor of the city, Newport News, Miss Tina Vick, just chatting about the incredible work she's doing in the city. I got to ask this, because as I hear you speak, I feel like there's a need for training for young government professionals, some sort of mentorship. Yeah, I just see you doing that, pouring into folks that know they want to make a difference but have no idea how to go about doing it. People that may not know how to stand in their truth and their power like you, to be able to, be that voice. Is that something that you would consider doing? I like to challenge people.
I would consider it, but I think I would consider it, and I have thought about it. But
and I'm sure you do it informally.
When you one person. I really want to do it formally, and people keep telling me to do it. But
I mean,
people think you can do one thing on your own, and for things like that, you have to have a team. And right now, I have not found the hardworking team, but I have emailed your assistant.
Shout out to Marcia.
I'll go ahead and tell you on your radio show that I'm trying to steal your assistant.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome! I'm glad.
Because the way she did that, I really love people doing their best work around me. I just can't. I don't like settling for mediocrity. We all make some mistakes, but I try to do whatever I do. I try to do it up here because that's the way everybody should work. But I do want to do that. But I just have to have the right team, and I'm counting on Marcia to be able to help me.
She'll be an asset to you for sure. So that was a yes. I'm gonna write that down. That Vice Mayor Tina Vick does want to do some mentorship to help young and aspiring government professionals.
Yeah, I do that, but I also already have my girls' camp I do annually for 13 to 18.
Is there a focus on governance there at all?
That's the focus on womanhood.
Okay.
For girls who normally at their kitchen tables, there may not be a conversation about what's after high school or why you should do your best in high school, why you shouldn't keep having children by men that don't support you, why you shouldn't do drugs, because you have to live out here. You have to create a life for yourself. So it's focused on that. I tell them why I'm doing the camp, because I got so many calls being a black woman, being in office, for women 30s and 40s still unable to manage their lives. Because you can have as many children as you want, but when you have to call me to find you a place to stay, that means your life has become unmanageable. And you need to look at some of the things you're doing and get it back into control so that you can control it. And part of the issues have been excess children by different baby daddies, drugs, thinking you can just keep partying all the time, and lack of education. For these, so I want to get to these girls early to empower them and let them know you can decide to live like that, but your life is going to be harder. Take this route and it can be a lot better for you. So unfortunately, we only get to meet one day a year, but it's all day. We have our purple shirts on and just motivating.
When is that?
The first Saturday in October.
First Saturday in October.
From 9 to 4. And
I'm sure it's already full. Good grief.
We've been at Achievable Dream.
Okay, at Achievable Dream.
And I do
What's
believe... What's the
name of the camp?
Girls Camp. And I do believe in people saying, if you could just start with one, but we pack our place with 100 girls. And I have some of the best volunteers. Transitions Family Violence helped me with that. Achievable Dream. One of our school board members, Dr. Terry Best, she was there this year. My daughter, Dr. I keep
calling sweet daughter too.
Yeah, she is just a blessing, and she's opening her restaurant. She's over there now, JT's Bar and Grill. So stay tuned for that. So we may be able to have a women's empowerment event over there.
Yes.
So I'll invite you as the speaker.
You can invite me as the something. So for this episode of hashtag Add This to the List, I'd like to share some local business resources. First up, and this is actually a state resource, but she operates locally. Her name is Angela Barber. Look her up. If you have a small business, she's one that you need to know. She can connect you with SWAM and EVA and all of the other acronyms to ensure that you have access to opportunity. She is with the Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity, and she comes to this area. She works in this area, but she frequently does events in the area to help with small businesses. Also, one to reach out to is Erica Small-Cisco. Erica Small-Cisco runs the Women's Business Center at Old Dominion University. She's just a resource all the way around. Yesterday, she put on a SWAM event at Old Dominion. I would look her up if I were you. Also in the city of Norfolk, Aaliyah Slappy and Sean Washington, we've had them both on the show. They are with Economic Development. They're both Hampton University alum, and they are both super passionate about empowering our business community. Next is Jeff Smith with Virginia Beach Economic Development. He is a business development manager there. He's also the SWAM coordinator. He is connected with the Coastal Virginia Minority Supplier Diversity Council as well. So if you do business that could do business with other companies, then certainly you'll want to reach out to Jeff for those kinds of opportunities. Erica Spencer with the Hampton Minority Business Coordinator Office. I think I said that wrong, but Erica Spencer, she is new in her role, but she's already doing some wonderful things in the city of Hampton, putting on some fantastic events. If you're in Hampton, she's one to reach out to. Miss Deborah Farley, who runs the Peninsula Workforce Development Center, also in Hampton, is a tremendous resource as well. And then last, but certainly not least, is Miss Trisha Wilson with the Small Business Development Center in Newport News. I know that was a lot, but Angela Barber, Erica Small-Cisco, Aaliyah Slappy and Sean Washington, Jeff Smith, Erica Spencer, Deborah Farley, Trisha Wilson, all resources to help you grow your business in Hampton Roads. So we're back with Miss Tina Vick. How are you?
I'm doing well.
We're
so
chatting.
excited to be here.
So glad to have you. I'm already seeing a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 4 to this conversation. Over the break, we were talking a little bit about some of the challenges that our businesses face. Access to capital, business credit, certainly being chief among them. What is Newport News doing to help small businesses in this department?
Well, we've really been, we've started a push in the last few years, particularly because my cohort on City Council, who also serves in the South District, is Dr. Sandra Cherry. She also works here. She's a professor here at Hampton University.
Okay.
But we've been pushing the city, particularly for our district, to help with small business. Even this morning at the Piggly Wiggly, there was a workshop by our small business department talking about home-based businesses, restaurant businesses. So we're bringing them to different communities because before, and maybe like a lot of cities, but I know Hampton has come more alive. People are realizing that people need assistance. Citizens need assistance in this. So they're not just sitting at the office anymore. People are coming alive and bringing them to different community centers, different areas of the city. And that's what we're doing in Newport News to provide people with the guidance. I know our Commissioner of Revenue, Tiffany Boyle, she has been having her team come out to different places in Newport News to talk about small businesses, the taxes, the business license, some of the things people, we might know how to cook some meals in our kitchen and want to start a restaurant, but we may not know the first steps. So it's so important to be able to bring that to the community, to give people guidance on how to get started.
I agree. Instead of having the expectation that people are going to come to you. Because a lot of times we don't know who to go to.
Exactly. And plus you got to think about once you start making the money, finding accountants who can help you spend your money wisely or save it or, allot it, whatever you choose to do with it. But you want all that type of guidance. Attorneys, business attorneys who you want to have as a resource because you want to have a team of people who know you, who are connected to you as your advocates when you're doing a venture like that.
Absolutely. Let me ask this. Are there capital resources and programs that individuals can access? So I'm thinking about several other programs that I've heard about in recent months in the cities of Norfolk and Virginia Beach, where individuals can literally make an application, maybe receive a small business grant, that kind of thing.
We do have the small business grant with the Tricia Wilson in her office. It's a small business grant. The acronyms are NUDAG.
Okay.
And I wish I knew what they stood for.
NEWDA.
No, NUDAG.
NUDAG. I can.
I feel bad that I don't know. I feel bad that I don't know what the acronyms stand for. But
you feel bad?
That money is low interest.
Okay.
For the actual loan.
Okay.
But there are some small grants as well, and in Newport News too. If you already have a business property with the building, we do have what we call a facade improvement grant for the face of your building, and that's a grant. So things like that help small business, because businesses take a lot of money, especially when you're going to a big box and not just operating out of your home, but to be able to, rents are expensive. And when you get out here in business and you have to rent or lease a place, you want to make sure that your business is making enough money. And a lot of people don't realize this. They'll just get a building and lease it and think they can make a few pieces of chicken and pay the lease amount. You have to strategize on how you're going to sell enough chicken wings to pay. Sometimes, really out here in this commercial market, you're looking at the lease amounts starting the lowest at about $2,000 a month.
Yeah. I just heard it said recently that if your plan for scaling your business only involves your revenue, then you're going to fail. In other words, you have to access capital if you're going to scale your business.
Exactly.
So sometimes looking beyond how many chicken wings you're going to sell, how much more capital can I start to bring in order to do what you're talking about?
Yeah, because that's when you see a lot of people, they're in 1 month and 6 months later they're gone because they haven't realized that you have to have a pot of money to go into, and you have to really budget. A lot of things when we talk about blacks in our community, that's a thing for a lot of us that has been very new. Budgeting, realizing about credit, and those are the things that are gonna have to look good on your financial resume for you as a company and as a person to access capital. And then even with that, the unfortunate thing about being black in America is even with that, I've experienced it. I told you a little bit about my daughter opening the restaurant. Sometimes we can have good credit and a lot of the finances needed in our portfolio and still get turned away by banks because of our color of our skin, and it's unfortunate. Even I have my women's empowerment that's what my girls camp is under that nonprofit, and I can remember last year, as a matter of fact, I went into my own bank and told the lady to deposit that in my account. And Blair, the lady looked at me, she goes, "Miss, this is a business check. You can't put this in your account." I said, "Excuse me, what would make you think I would bring this check if I didn't have a business?"
Wow.
So these are the things. So I said, let me pull my ID out and let's show this lady who I really am. Pow! And
but
just to think that her face didn't see me owning a business. That you would think I'm so crazy I'll bring a check to this bank and try to put it in my account when I don't have a business.
Wow.
So be ready for the challenges.
We deal with some challenges.
Be ready for the challenges when you're black and brown in America.
If you're just tuning in, I say this all the time because every edition is a special edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. I tell you all, this is one of the great joys of my week. We are sharing with the Vice Mayor of the City of Newport News, one of a kind, Miss Tina Vick.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Let me ask this. Does Newport News have any co-working spaces, to your knowledge?
Not that we sponsor, but we did receive a grant from the state.
Okay.
I want to say it's $425,000, where one of the buildings in the deepest part of South District that I've been talking about 2 blocks down from the Piggly Wiggly and the Brooks Crossing, where we're renovating that old building now, and that's going to be our co-working space, which I'm really excited about, because as we just mentioned about the lease amounts in most commercial businesses, just imagine if you're starting out and you are able to afford a place that's $200 or $500. That will allow you to make money and not have as much overhead until you can grow your business. So that's why we're excited about that. Our co-working space, our business incubator. And we do have a good team of people, staff working with us and looking for the free money, because, even though I talked about that $1 billion budget we have, there's so many services that we have to provide that people don't think about. Our schools, funding our schools, police, fire, parks and recreation, our public works department, street repairs, development.
So all of the money,
prison. Some of our money goes to jails. We have so many efforts, and then we also have within our budget a community support part of our budget, where we realize as a city we can't do all the things that we need, but we support places like Transitions Family Violence. I say that place because the executive director is Sanu Jing, and she's so good at working with women in such a vulnerable time. But we're able to allow some funding from our city budget for nonprofits who are doing some of the work in our city to help our citizens. So I really love that part, that we are able to provide people financial assistance to help keep their organizations going, because they help people in need.
I get it. Just conceptualizing Newport News as a business that, you support pretty much everything that the city does. Yes,
exactly. Because, and usually we have to make sure we're good stewards of that money. We have an excellent budget director, Lisa Cipriano. I'll put her up against anybody, and I hope she's listening. But she knows that budget. She's been with our city for a while. She knows where the different revenue streams come from, because when you're looking at a city budget and how we get there, the real estate taxes from people's property help make up the biggest portion of our budget. But then we have this thing called, the acronyms are BPOL, business and professional occupancy taxes, license taxes, something like that. But that you have to pay taxes on equipment as a business. So that is factored in our budget. Waterworks, some funding from that goes in our budget. So all of this money.
And then the grants that you receive.
Grants we receive. All of that makes up a city budget. And so with that, you have to be good stewards of it, because you have to use that money. We use that money to take care of the citizens. And of course, a big piece is city salaries. We have to pay our workers. So that's a huge part of money that we have to make sure we allot for. So it's a lot that goes into this part-time job.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of folks don't realize it. Vice mayor, this is all part-time.
Part-time. It's a lot that goes into this part-time job that we have to figure out for the citizens. So it's great to have people who are dedicated and really want to give to the citizens and continue to make our city better. But I think the part that helps motivate you too, you want people to be able to say Newport News is so great because I'm born and raised here.
Pride, right? Our phone has not rung yet, but I'm sure that's because I have not been promoting the fact that we are taking calls. If you've got some questions for the Vice Mayor of Newport News, Ms. Tina Vick, feel free to call in 757-727-5711. Would love to hear from you again at 757-727-5711. I must say that for the most part, you've made your work seem like just a walk in the park. I mean, I know you were clearly cut out for the job that you do.
Oh, thank you.
But have there been challenges? Can you speak to the rough side of the mountain?
I think the biggest part, and since we're at Hampton University, and we talk about being Black in America. It is actually being a Black woman and being in politics. As we know throughout history, we have not always, as Black women, been able to be elected. Mm-hmm. And it's still sad. Look at what has happened in Chicago, that people are addressing that mayor as a Black woman mayor. If
she can't just be the mayor.
Exactly.
Wow.
I think it's sad that we're still at that point that you have to say a Black woman. It's just her name. She's the mayor.
She's the mayor.
And so that's been the biggest challenge of dealing with some of the people in business who don't think you should be there. Part of my hard thing too is dealing with people after I have worked hard, and to see people who want to come and run against you, even though you know it's a democracy. That's kind of challenging. It is challenging, because you wonder why. You wonder why they don't see that you're working hard, and so that's been a challenge. But I think another challenge is it really has been being a woman there, because so many men in the 21st century still, there are men who don't think we should be governing.
Let's see what the caller has. Black Wall Street
Hello?
Today. This is Blair. What kind of questions can we answer for you?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My name's Billy. I'm from Hampton, but work in Newport News. And I think that the area here hurts startups in the way that taxes assessed on the business equipment. And is there anything, because you want people to be legit. People want to be legit.
Yes.
But how do you get started when right off the bat, maybe I have some lawnmowers already. Now I'm going to make a legit business. Now I'm paying tax on my lawnmowers. I own them for years. And then you can't bring machinery in from outside. Like if you want somebody to move in here with some real manufacturing equipment that they already own and pay for, why would they come here?
Well, but I think a lot of localities charge for the business equipment tax. But also, I know with our city too, if you're a small business, they do have some tax credits or exemptions that you can qualify for. So please check into that. Are you a small business?
Not yet, but I don't know if I can even afford to be here. I want to be right downtown in Newport News, but how can I start if the first thing I'm doing before I even make money is paying tax?
I think you should go to the commissioner's office and talk to them about it. Make sure you let them know that you want to start in an opportunity zone, because all of those zones, enterprise zone, those are the zone, when you're zoned in that area, which downtown is, there are different tax breaks and different breaks for you. So that's the good thing too about getting in business as well. Sometimes you might be reading something, but it's really good to go ahead and make an appointment and talk with someone in the commissioner's office and share what you've shared with me on the radio. Share with them your concerns and see what they have to help you, because my daughter met with them, and there were, for her restaurant downtown, and there were different tax credits and tax exemptions that she qualified for. So please, I would urge you to do that.
What office, you say?
The Commissioner of Revenue's office in Newport News, because they have a business license area as soon as you walk in City Hall on the first floor. But go in there and talk to somebody and let them know your concerns.
Right. Yeah, because a big concern, if you already have a lot of machinery, maybe it's, from another state. Look, I got a bunch of machinery in another state. I want to move it here, but I own it for years and years, and I can't. I'm going to be paying a lot of tax as soon as I move it here.
Well, but too, with the machinery, though, each year you get to turn in what is the value as it's depreciated. You're not going to pay. You're not going to pay the same value from the beginning when you purchased it new. Annually, you're not going to pay that same value because.
No, I looked at it. It's 1/3, but still, it's expensive machinery. So you're still going to take 1/3. You know what I mean? You're right. I need to talk to somebody.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I
want to thank you so much for the call because I think a lot of people probably had the same question. I do have to disconnect the line now so we can go to another call, but I hope you get the assistance that you need. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I think we've got just a couple minutes before we go to break, or can we take another call? Okay, 4 minutes before break, so we won't take another call. But we were talking about just the challenges that you face as being a black woman in America, but a black woman in a white male-dominated field.
Yes.
And how have you overcome those challenges? What would you say? What advice would you give to somebody starting out?
I think having a mother like my mom, Miss Khalifa Virginia Vick, she loved her. She called it because we never were really small people, children. So she loved her plump brown children. And so, and she just loved us. So, and the good thing about when you have that self-love, that has allowed me to stand everywhere I've had to go. Because when you know you're somebody, whether they think so or not, I know. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to stand on that. And I studied really hard in school. Mm-hmm. I know information. I'm smart. And I know that, and the citizens who loved me, and I thank God for my voter base, they put me here. The citizens put me here. So I've earned this right, and that's what has allowed me to overcome and to be able to hear some of the women sometimes when I'm going in Family Dollar somewhere just say, "We've been reading about you in the paper, baby. You just keep on fighting for us here." When you hear that from those citizens who maybe you don't even see regularly, but they're praying for you, they're rooting for you, that is really what keeps me going. It really keeps me going.
That's strong. Is that a 1 or a 2? A 2. Okay. Is there more? It's self-love. I think it's a more common term now than maybe it was, in prior generations. Yeah, but that really helps you stand. You got to know who and whose you are to do anything out here. But the spiritual basis.
Yeah. And then when people keep re-electing you, and some of the people who don't think you should be in government, they see that you're not going away, so they learn how to deal with you. And just having lunch, because part of the fear is you don't know me. Mm-hmm. So let's be adults and go have lunch or something, and you get to know me, and I get to know you, and we can stop with the little bashing and bullying, because that doesn't work for me at all.
That's good.
And let's talk and become adults and learn how we're working together, because we're working for the same city.
That's good. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. We engage in a lot of that petty stuff, which, and a lot of men, and a lot of men, and it could be women too, but I've experienced some people, when they don't think you should, they want to bully you. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get anywhere bullying me. Mm-hmm. You just not. Because I came from an area that downtown, the hoodie hood. The hoodie hood. Love it. So that's not going to work for you, buddy. Wow. We are wrapping up an awesome show today on city governance for economic development with Vice Mayor of the City of Newport News, Tina Vick. Over the break, we're talking about challenges. You got to share this story. As Tina was running for the very first time, she was dealing with some things.
Yes, my very first campaign in 2008, I was running, but of course, the last name Vick may be common to you. Michael Vick, the NFL superstar, is my nephew, and he was going through the Michael Vick dogfighting saga. And so, as I was knocking on doors to ask people to sign my petition, one lady even said, now this is funny, she said, so are you going to run under another name?
Oh my goodness.
But I came out here, I just felt that my community, I have been working in my 20s, working with pregnant teens, in my 30s, working with juvenile offenders, helping people understand about a better life, home ownership, building and renovating homes for first-time home buyers, teaching financial literacy. I just really believe my community would support me. And so, but as they put us in the paper, the candidates running for each district, I had 2 opponents during that time, and they listed them and their jobs and some of their other activities. And my name was last out of the 3. And it said, Blair, it said Tina Vick, real estate broker and aunt of the suspended NFL Atlanta Falcons quarterback, Michael Vick. So I'm like, oh my gosh, should I get out the race?
Wow.
But then God came in my spirit. Y'all got to read my book, Growing Up Vick, because it's in the book.
Growing Up Vick.
Growing Up Vick. It's in the book, but I said, God came back in my spirit. I said, no, I'm going to keep going. Because he put in my spirit, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. And so on election day, May 6th, that's exactly how the campaign, the votes came in election night. I was first, and the person they listed in the paper first came in last.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
No, that's beyond amazing. First of all, that you had the whatever it took to go ahead and stick it out, you know, and the God was clear. No, I have something for you. And I think, too, a lot of times when we know we're doing the thing that God called us to do, we don't expect opposition.
Exactly, but it is
always going to be opposition.
Yeah, read his story.
Always.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you work hard, as we talked about at your conference on Saturday, which was super, so many people want to do businesses and do things in life, but you got to know you have to work hard and you have to make your mind grow, which most of the time involves reading, to make your mind grow with the assignment. You can't have the same mind from, you working as a waitress in a restaurant when you're getting ready to own it.
Whoa. That's major.
It's 2 different mindsets.
So our consciousness has to expand, and the only way for that to happen
is a lot of reading. I do a lot of reading. Not books, but mainly I love magazines and just articles. And
what are some of your favorites? I gotta wrap up, but just if you could give us 3.
Of course, Michelle Obama's book.
Good stuff.
Being
I have
Michelle.
my daughter reading that one.
And I love the journaling guide.
Okay.
And I love who doesn't love Essence magazine?
Gotta love Essence.
And so I read a lot of those things and articles. Now with the internet, is so much. I love reading data and getting information, because we got to continue to read and work hard.
Wow. Tina, this has been wonderful. Look forward to having you back.
Yes.
Please, again, follow us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Instagram. Tune in next week. We're going to be focused on the business of music. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram. And then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said, and I will continue to say, that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party. phenomenal.